Hey, what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to Get Hit with the Truth. So today we're going to discuss the recap from the Showtime pay-per-view that took place Saturday, June 26th on, as I said, on Showtime. It was headlined by Gervonta Tank Davis against Mario Barrios for the WBA secondary 140-pound world championship. We'll start with the undercard really quick. Yeah, Carlos Adames took on Alexis Salazar. Adames, 154-pound contender, trying to bounce back from the loss, the very close lone defeat of his career to Patrick Teixeira back in November of 2019. And he looked good. You know, it was a kind of a tune-up, his PBC debut, and he came out firing and stopped Alexis Salazar in 3 rounds. Kind of what we expected. Nice win for him as he bounces back. So congrats to Adames. He's not quite a top 10 guy for me. He's close, but not quite a top 10. Got a little more work to do, but a good win there. Next up, you had Batir Akhmedov taking on veteran former world champion Argenis Mendez. Now, Mendez, always a guy that is in there to compete and can knock anybody off at any moment. He's that solid of a veteran, even though he's not a top 10 guy. He's a 140-pounder. He took on Batir Akhmedov, who everybody considered to be legit. And, his lone defeat was a close decision loss to Mario Barrios. And, that was it for him. So heading into this fight, I think most people expected Akhmedov to win, and he did. He just kind of grinded it out, though. It was kind of a lot of body work, kind of wore down the veteran Argenis Mendez to where Mendez just retired in his corner after 8 rounds. So Akhmedov, nice win, keeps himself in the mix. Another guy, not quite a top 10 fighter. He's probably top 15 to top 20 at 140 pounds right now, but not a bad fighter. And he's on the rise now. This was some kind of a WBA eliminator right here. So he's moving up the ladder, and hopefully we see him in against somebody decent soon. Now, the co-feature was a good fight. It was Erickson Lubin. Well, it was a big fight. Erickson Lubin, top 154-pound contender, former world title challenger, taking on former unified world champion Jason Rosario. Now, this is a big fight for both these guys. It was pretty much a WBC final eliminator. The winner is in line to fight the winner of the undisputed title fight between Jermell Charlo and Brian Castano, which takes place July 17th on Showtime. So heading into this one, it was one of those fights where you're like, okay, you got Lubin coming in the favorite, southpaw, good boxer, got some pop, taking on Rosario, who up to this point kind of a one-hit wonder. He knocked out Julian J. Rock Williams in the first round of their showdown. I mean, in the 5th round. I'm sorry, back in January of last year, 2020. So you kind of didn't know what Rosario we were going to see after, he did that, and then he lost to Jermell Charlo, got his ass whipped against Jermell Charlo last September. Charlo dominated him, 8th round TKO victory, and retained his, became the unified champ with that win. So heading into this one, was he a one-hit wonder, or was he going to be legit? It really was a test to see how good Jason Rosario really was. And Erickson Lubin showed you how good he was instead. He broke down Rosario, kind of beat him up. Rosario had a couple moments here and there, but few and far between, as it was pretty much a clean breakdown by Erickson Lubin. He did what I predicted that he could do, and I said he needed this kind of victory, and he got it. He put him down 3 times, stopped him impressively, 6th round stoppage, and Erickson Lubin remains at the top of his game right now and is in line to fight for a world title. His lone defeat was to Jermell Charlo, so if Charlo walks away with the victory in July, I highly doubt Charlo's going to give him another crack. Charlo did knock Lubin out in the first round, of their fight back in 2016, 2017 in that area. But Erickson Lubin was 22 years old at the time, and he's really found himself. He's really come into his own. He's beaten, he retired Ishai Smith with a 3rd round stoppage. Then he took on, Terrell Gaucher last year, and he got a clean decision, even though it wasn't the most impressive performance. He got a clean decision in that one, and it's just we got to see what he can do. Going in against Rosario, what he could do, and he dominated Rosario. Again, this was the kind of performance he needed. He was fighting on pay-per-view. He was a co-feature. He needed a big-time performance, and he got it. He dominated Rosario. Big-time win for Lubin. We'll talk about his what's next sometime next week. We'll get into that, or later this week possibly. But just an impressive-ass performance for him. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do next, because I'm a big fan. I'm a very big fan of Erickson Lubin. So nice victory there. And then the main event. You saw Gervonta Tank Davis taking on, Gervonta Tank Davis taking on the, I'm sorry guys, drawing a blank here. Gervonta Tank Davis versus Mario Barrios. He was challenging Barrios for the 140-pound championship, the secondary title. And, again, I predicted that he could do what he did. I said, if he's on point and he boxes, and he can break down Barrios and possibly stop him in the late rounds. I predicted a decision because I wasn't sure how he was going to look against a big guy like Barrios. But surprisingly, he actually took Barrios' shots well. Barrios did land some good shots on him. But, and it was an action-packed and it was a close fight before Davis took over in the second half. That's really what happened. It was a close fight. I looked at the scorecards, and at least the scorecard on TV had Barrios winning that fight, heading into the second half, heading into the 7th round. But then Tank took over. He put him down twice in the 8th. And Barrios actually came back in the 9th. Actually didn't have a bad 9th round, but the 10th and 11th, it was just kind of Barrios just out of gas. He was getting broken down. And Tank proved that he might be a little undersized for 140, but he still packs a punch. And Tank is mastering his boxing skill. He really is, like his boxing ability. We know he's got power. We know he can punch. His timing's good. But that doesn't mean his boxing ability to be able to outbox a guy, jab, combinations. That doesn't mean guys can do that too, and he can. He really proved that he can do it. He had a great performance in this one. I was impressed, stopping Mario Barrios in the 11th round finally, and really putting it to bed on how good he really is. And we're gonna see. And to Tank's credit, Tank said, I would rather fight at 135, and he's still talking about 130 as a possibility, which I'm impressed with, He said he'd rather take on fights there, but for the right fight, he'll fight at 140. So, if he can make the weight like Mayweather did so many times, and that's his mentor, if he can make the weight, then I really think he can be on another level. I really believe that. I really believe he can. It opens his options up, so well if he can fight between those 3 weight classes. So I'm going to be doing a big what's next on him going forward, but let's give some credit to Mario Barrios. This is a young kid, never been in the ring with anybody near the talent of Gervonta Davis. This is a big step up in terms of talent and competition for Barrios, and he held his own. He fought his ass off. He fought hard. Not sure how good Barrios is going to be, but he showed that he's a grinder, that he's in there to bang, and that he can really throw down. I was impressed with his performance, even in defeat. I'm not sure if he breaks the top 10. I might put him into the top 10 because of that win, but we just got to wait and see what happens. But solid performance out of Mario Barrios. But Tank Davis, now technically a 3-division world champ, whatever way you want to view that. He still holds the regular title at 135. He's now the regular champ at 140, and he has a super title at 130 pounds. So, big win for him. He holds all 3 of those belts at one time. That's impressive. So, we'll see what he can do going forward. Like I said, we'll do the what's next on him. We might even have a what's next on Mario Barrios. I need to sit down and look at my top 10s and really reevaluate. He may have cracked the top 10 with this performance. We know Gervonta Davis did, so that's it on that. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. This was the recap from the Showtime pay-per-view, Davis versus Barrios. True boxing. You've been hit with the truth.